Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Virgo June 2022 reading and predictions. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James. For those of you who are stopping by for the first time, and if you are, welcome. And to the subscribers, you know I love to see you. I love doing these readings for you each month. Well, while I draw the cards for you, let's just have a quick discussion about some of the other more interesting things going on in the way of general astrology for the months of, some of you will be looking at this in May, so we'll have a quick talk about May, and then of course June. And the first thing to recall about May is that Mercury had stationed direct in Gemini, so great communication skills, great degree of intellect with you, great ability to solve problems. Jupiter, that great benefic, on the 13th of May, moves out of Pisces and into Aries, the cardinal sign of fire. And then what's interesting is that later in that month, on the 27th of May, Mars ingresses into Aries, and then Mars and Jupiter go into a conjunction. Venus has been in Aries for most of the month as well, so in May you've got the two benefics of Jupiter and Venus together, and this should bring about abundance and prosperity. Well, the stage is set for abundance and prosperity. That's the tools which have been laid out there for you. If you use them or not, it's up to you, and circumstances can change. Now in June, it was of course then after Mercury then, during the later part of May, went into a retrograde, and then finally on the start of the month, Mercury then stations direct again in Taurus. But the problem is that, the problem that I see is that, let's just see that for a second. There is the Five of Wands. Mercury is square Saturn, which is in Aquarius. So that can be a problem. And so rather than things taking off again, because the astrologers will tell you if there's a Mercury retrograde, then plans can go awry. But because when it stations direct in Taurus, it is square Saturn, which is sitting in Aquarius. And that can cause what I would call sort of like a retrograde hangover, for want of a better expression. And things may not necessarily take off straight away. However, Mars and Jupiter are in the month are in Aries, and so there should be a great degree of enthusiasm, I think, with you for things which could actually involve risk. You may be involved in things which risk to do with the spoken word, the written word, or actions that you take. But then what happens is that Mercury then goes back into Gemini, because remember it had started in Taurus and it moves into Gemini, which is its home. And what's also good about that is it goes sextile with Jupiter. The astrologers will tell you that the sextile angle is a great angle, and later it goes sextile with Mars as well. That's the Three of Pentacles. So really, really good stuff that's happening for you there. So anything, I think, that was held up by that Mercury retrograde or by that hangover, there's the moon, will, I think, start to move along quite freely. Let's pull two more cards for you, shall we? There is the Seven of Pentacles, and finally, what's this one here? The High Priestess. Fascinating. All right. Why don't you, as is our normal practice, why don't you come sit down here next to me? We'll have a good close look at the symbology and the imagery on these cards together while I do your reading for you. Well, by the way, if you would like to have a one-on-one clairvoyant reading with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information that's in the description below. Now, I think we should start with the major arcana, shouldn't we, for you? Let's have a look to see what's here. And we'll have a look at this symbology together and see what we can make of it, shall we? And see if you agree with me. Let's have a look. Well, here is the High Priestess. Well, what would you call this? There's a dark and a light pillar. The waxing moon above the dark pillar, that's the first aspects of the moon's continuous cycle. On her right, That represents the time for planting seeds, intentions, and ideas for you now. Now the full moon, which is above her, that represents illumination, harvest, the fullness of life, the opened flower. And then the waning crescent moon on her left represents death, moving into rebirth, bringing lessons, awakening, and healing from the process of passing through all the phases of the cycling moon. Now, those two pillars which I pointed out symbolize the dualities of the physical, spiritual life, masculine, feminine, self, and negative, positive energies. The black pillar, I think, symbolizes understanding. The white pillar represents wisdom. And the High Priestess herself, she kind of forms a sort of a central pillar of herself, doesn't she? Where she appears to be quite mild. Now, this looks like a spider's web really behind her here, don't you agree? That spider's web represents the veil between the conscious and the subconscious. It symbolizes creativity and the possibilities in life, but also it is there to make you aware that you can get trapped in the veil. If you pass through it without the proper knowledge and preparedness, you can get trapped. The High Priestess holds a star in her hands, symbolizing her ability to access the Akashic records. Well, when I say the Akashic records, that's just a fancy term for what's otherwise called universal knowledge. Now, the star, which is in her crown up here, that symbolizes the sixth chakra, the third eye associated with the priestess, symbolizing great insight. Now, her dress is made up of, well, what would those things be? It's a pattern of crosses. And as you would, if you've looked on my playlist, you'll see my introduction to astrology. I talk about the cross, and in particular, how it represents the descent of spirit into matter and matter into spirit, the balance of male and female energies, and the balance of four directions of spirit, emotion, mind, and body. And there's also spirals on it, the spiral of life and the universe with its creative forces. Now, her dress, it looks to me, maybe difficult to make out, but it looks to me like her dress is trailing down here into a pool. Now, in the pool, which is a blue color, there are stars that represent the deep knowledge and creativity that is constant in the universe. Now, the planet associated with the priestess is the moon, which is about intuition, cycles, and mystery, as well as third eye insight, which is the sixth chakra. Now, what else can we say about her for you at this time? I think what we can say is that she really holds the key to universal knowledge. She has the gift of knowing how to channel into the collective memory of the past, present, and future that guides you to resolve blocks that disturb your inner peace and balance. The star she holds contains the universal secrets, answers, and mysteries that are available to you through prayer, meditation, dreams, even just in getting out in nature and allowing your higher self to become absorbed by it. Now, her message to you is to trust your inner self and intuition at this time. The High Priestess brings harmony and balance to situations that have been out of sync. And isn't that good news? She represents the beginning of a creative cycle for you. She brings time for self-reflection and integrating opposing aspects of the self. She signals that this is a time of going within for you and experiencing your dark, mysterious self-balancing, which brings your subconscious together with your conscious self, understanding and honoring both of those realms, can unveil the portal to the inner oasis of your soul. Now, it's interesting that you should have also drawn the moon as a card, a major arcana, and they're sitting next to each other. They're kind of a bit of a theme, I think, maybe. Let's just see what comes up. Well, this really illuminates the moon here, illuminates the threshold on your path. It leads you to the brilliance of a new dawn. The grey towers, which you see in front of you here they are, those grey towers, they represent the threshold or gateway to spiritual enlightenment and wisdom. The cycles of the moon on the towers represent the cycles of nature and the cycles of your life. The left tower represents the waxing cycle. The right tower represents the waning cycle. Now, the two wolves that you see down here, one white, one black, they represent the guardians of the threshold, as well as the guides that assist you through the dark, unknown path. They symbolize your natural animal instinct and mental thoughts when combined, expanding your intuition, I think. They also represent the unconscious and the conscious self, as well as the light and dark aspects of the self. Do you know, in Native American tradition, the wolf is the teacher, but also the guide to the sacred mountain, where there is a great medicine lake in which all the world is reflected. And in the background here, we see this green forest, don't we? Well, this is where your path begins, leading you through unknown territory. But the path comes out onto a beautiful golden pyramid. Yeah, and climbing to the very top where the medicine lake is, where the moon reflects all wisdom and rebirth. That's where that path leads you. Now, there is an owl sitting on top there. Well, I think that represents truth and wisdom. Now, as usual in a moon card, we often see a crayfish here, and I'm looking at this emerging from its watery world of the subconscious into the moonlight of illumination. He represents your primordial self entering onto the path of spiritual development. Now, there's actually behind him here, in a sort of a circle, there is a new moon behind him, and that signifies the start of his journey. And the two ravens, which are down at the bottom there, I think they're calling to your primordial self to wake up. The ravens give courage to enter the darkness, of course, and they offer the promise of healing that it can bring. The raven is the bringer of magical, transformative life. Now, the astrological aspect of the moon is Pisces for me. Empathetic, receptive, compassionate, creative, and adaptive. Now, when the moon calls you to enter the darkness, as it is doing at the present, then it's possible that feelings and emotions can come out of nowhere. Well, you must trust your inner divine light. The moon is reminding you to go forward without worrying about all the what ifs, what is, Trust your authentic self and fight the monsters within. Light is always brighter than darkness, and the moon brings light. The moon's guiding light says, "Follow me, use your inner strength and focus your trust and intuition and instincts, and you will wake up on the other side of the threshold, liberated." Now, the moon can inspire you on your way to new ideas and paths. Although it doesn't reveal the total situation to you, it teaches you to tap into your intuition and trust it. Because it opens information and inherent memories maybe through dreams and visions for somebody here. It reflects where you are on your cycle of life and how you feel about it. It reminds you that the cycles in life and your spiritual paths are always beginning, ending, and rebirthing. The moon reminds you that you will pass through the threshold many times on many levels. And each time you do, you heal yourself, and your awareness becomes more expanded and your wisdom becomes deeper. The moon reflects the sun. You reflect the divine. Well, I want to have a look at this card here because it looks really interesting, I think. So let's have a look and see what we can make of it together, shall we? It looks like, what is that? Is that a turtle shell? I'll have a look in just a second here. Well, this image in the Three of Pentacles, there is the goddess of creation who wears the crown of the moon's cycles. The sun, the divine energy in the center, which is here, is overlapped by, there's a full moon, which is kind of coming up behind it, this violet color that's there. Now, this full moon brings inspired vision through, well, it's like an eclipse really, and it is bringing an inspired vision through the heart and imagination for you. Now, there are three turtles on here, and these three turtles symbolize Mother Earth, triple goddess, and body, mind, and spirit. The goddess's turtle shell crest, and this looks like that's what this is here, I think. I'm calling it that anyway. That displays spirals of eternity and creation on it. I'm only saying that because these are turtles. It could be anything, but I'm saying that's also a turtle shell thing there. But the goddess is focusing on these three eggs. Do you see them here? Those three eggs that are there, that are in her nest. She is working with the divine creativity, aligning the mind and the spirit, symbolized by this magical string of stars swirling around her and the nest. The star energy has activated her third eye, which you can see here, and that's giving her deep insight and vision, which I think you are really going to be having during this period by the looks of this imagery here. The three golden eggs symbolize wishes, dreams, and ideas being nurtured and blessed. And the rainbow that's around her represents the bridge between heaven and earth and the unity of humanity. Now, the Three of Pentacles brings the power of creativity to a higher level. It signals a time when you are channeling divine inspiration into your life's work. I think you are experiencing a creative high point in your life where innovative ideas and aha moments emerge. The Three of Pentacles symbolizes the inventive, creative mind, expanding energy into tangible forms. You'll be making things actually happen, which is good. And that's going to bring you advancement and fulfillment, well, both for you and for other people. The key to the Three of Pentacles is to be committed to your goal by planning, preparing, and focusing on your skills. And the gift of the Three of Pentacles is discovering your true work. Now, when this Three of Pentacles enters, you might find your dream job. It could be around the home. It could be outside the home. It could be a hobby even in a sense, which is, people spend enough time on hobbies. They're almost jobs, aren't they? It's just that they love doing it. But it also signals a job well done. Success, reward, and recognition are going to come to you. It is also a time when you are developing your skills and talents. You have learned that planning, preparation, and focus are a must for goals to be realized. It indicates research, apprenticeship, or pursuing advanced education. You may begin working on a community project that will develop your teamwork skills. Creative energy and universal support are assisting the progress of a goal that is very close to being completed. And I think that the overriding message coming here from this energy is that it is never too late to go for your dream. Well, let's have a look. This Five of Wands. And then we've got the 7 to do, have we? Yeah. Okay, let's have a look what this is telling us here. Put you there so the moon doesn't distract you. Okay, well, I think that this is quite straightforward because here there is a volcano is erupting, which is illustrating the masculine creative force that wants to explode into your world. Excuse me. Now, this energy is creating chaos, disrupting the otherwise peaceful evening. I think you need to also just keep an eye on your health at this time. Also, just consider whether you're getting the right advice from doctors. Just be aware of that. Now, the woman is connected to the volcano and the fiery pool of spiraling creative energy. She is holding her center as the Kundalini star erupts within and the burning energy flows out through her into the world of matter. Her protective green cloak represents rebirth, growth, and harmony. She holds the 5 white lilies, bringing light within over her heart chakra, symbolizing the peace that she holds in her heart during the disruptions of life. The 5 wands, one could say the 5 senses, are budding into expression, seeking spiritual and physical balance. Now, when this card appears as it has done in this position, the 7 underneath it and diagonally opposite the High Priestess, it says that you're going to experience some change, possibly some struggle or transition in your life. The struggle is not going to be anything you can't overcome, but you might just have to, concentrate on things. Just don't take anything too lightly when that struggle comes up, when that competition comes up. But there is some transition that's going on in your life, I think here. But I think you are up to the challenge. The 5 of Wands is going to generate breakthroughs, I think, in your lifestyle, in your values, and in your ideas. It is forcing you to confront and burn away outgrown beliefs and patterns, moving you forward into transformation and growth. Now, this card invites you to participate and test your abilities in life's games of rivalry and competitions. There could be somebody around who has the same degree of beauty as you do, or the same mind power that you do, the same strategic ability as you do, who's as good at sales as you are, if you like. But participate in these, because this powerful energy of wands here is going to push you to new heights in career, relationships, and achievements. Now, this may not be easy to manage, but I'm sure you can, and you will empower yourself and your life. Now, that leaves us, doesn't it, with this card which is below the 5 of Wands, and it is this. Oh, this is great. Great art as well. Great imagery here. Now, what can we make of this, we ask? Well, first of all, we see a maiden holding an abundant garland of harvest. Now, at first glance, the image looks beautiful and fulfilling, but as you look closely at her eyes look up to the waning moon. She's sort of looking up there with this look on her face as if to say, "Oh, gee, is this all there is?" The beautiful garland perhaps is becoming heavy with outgrown ideas or lifestyles. Now, the garland itself holds 6 shining pentacles telling the story of her travels and lessons through the previous 6 pentacles cards, I suppose. The stars all have 6 points. Well, the 6-pointed star symbolizes the balance between fire and water, the balance between masculine and feminine aspects within you, and the balance between spirit and matter. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ascending butterflies, and they shine with the colors of the chakras, indicating transformation and change leading to a new perspective. Now, the butterflies pass through her heart chakra. Now, the heart chakra holds the 7th pentacle here, as you can see, and it has a 5-pointed star symbolizing the microcosm of the macrocosm in each of us, working from the heart. Now, these butterflies that you see going up here, they kind of lead us to start to look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, well, 7 of Pentacles, 7 horses flying around up there, rainbow horses of dream times, shifting the consciousness to higher levels of thinking and consideration. And they pass over the moon, leading thoughts to new ideas and places, as well as a new cycle of evolution. Now, the 7 of Pentacles, I think, for you, really, this month in this position, it symbolizes success and material rewards, but it also represents following your dharma. That is a Sanskrit word meaning what you are meant to do in life. This card brings you to the crossroads of following the path of material achievement or the path to serve the greater whole. And you can do both. There's no point being poor. There's no joy in that. Anyone who says that money doesn't buy happiness is shopping in the wrong store, I think. But you do really start to look at the spiritual responsibility and connection of your personal evolution with the collective. And this brings a desire to kind of, in a sense, gradually, in a small way, redesign your outlooks, goals, and motivations, is what I'm getting at here. The 7 of Pentacles presents opportunity to discover new talents, expanding them into innovative ideas and creations for you. And they can actually be a benefit to people around you. Now, some will have plenty of success and material possessions, and they desire to acquire more. But the cup never seems full, does it, for them? And their quest for material attainment keeps growing. Now, others will have made successful material accomplishments and gain a sense of higher purpose, resulting in a desire to seek deeper understanding of spiritual service to the world community. The desire becomes a heartfelt venture that brings fulfillment on a spiritual level, a different accomplishment than material gain. You can have spiritual advancement without material gain, or with it. But the lesson of the 7 of Pentacles is understanding the balance of spiritual and material values and living it in your daily life and work and in your play. The sacred balance brings abundance, spirituality, and material success here, I think, for you. This is a card also of spiritual transformation that raises your awareness to the bigger spectrum of creation and to the manifestation of the world at large. Anyway, a very successful month for you all around, I would suggest. And isn't that good news? That's the way it is this month. That, my dear friend, is your reading for June 2022. I love doing readings for you. Did I mention that before? I really do. I'm always excited to be doing it, and I'd love to see you. And if you're here for the first time, welcome, and I hope to see a lot more of you. Subscribers, thank you very much for being with me all this time. I really enjoy your company. Drop me a note in the comments and we can see how we're all doing. But in the meantime, remember this, and remember it always, and it is that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.